All right, what's going on, y'all? It's the boy TL Savage, and I need to come on here and I just need to talk about what I just witnessed at Crown Jewel 2024. Allow me to tell y'all right now that
GOAT, raw, fire.
was a decent PLE. I won't even lie. Like, it wasn't the best thing ever. I know I came in with like, a lot of excitement, but it wasn't crazy. It was more kind of like, damn, I didn't waste 3.5 hours of my life, because that's what I was really worried on. It was actually pretty decent. Just to run through it right quick, the Bloodline tag match, it was whatever. It was fine. I mean, I expected more, I think, out of the match just because of the whole family dynamic and the whole Bloodline be Bloodline thing. I will say the Jay not wanting to tag Roman thing, that was good, because I feel like this whole Jay forgiving Roman and Jimmy, or at the very least wanting to be with them again, was done a bit too quick to me. Like, it just kind of felt like they rushed it, when I feel like the better option would have been do Roman versus Solo at this PLE, then have Jay and Sammy join by the time we get to Survivor Series. I feel like that would have been way better and allowed more time for that story to breathe, rather than it being like Jay being like, oh, I don't want nothing to do with y'all, and then a week later being like, oh no, you know what, I'm back in. I don't know, it just kind of felt a little rushed to me, but I do like the fact that they still played on that Jay doesn't fully trust Roman yet, so therefore he wasn't really ready to tag him in. The other part is Roman getting pinned. Was not expecting that at all. I had thought the Usos were going to get pinned, if anything. And the third thing, of course, is the Sammy stuff. I was so terrified of him turning on Jay and them when he came out, but Sammy did the right thing. But then he hit Roman in the face, and you know what? I don't know how that's going to work out. Like, obviously, the end goal is Sammy rejoining, but I don't know if he's going to be like, okay, cool, I'm with them again, or he's going to be like, I can't get over Roman, I can't do it. I think what's probably going to happen is Sammy's going to get cool with Jimmy again first, or at least be on the same page with him, and then we'll start going into can he coexist with Roman thing. I feel like that's the process there. But overall, I gave that match a 6 out of 10. The next match was the women's tag match, which wasn't really all that exciting at first, but I feel like the second half really picked it up with all the spots and whatnot. I feel like it was really great. For example, like Kyrie's elbow drop to, I believe it was Chelsea and Doudrop. Not my bad. Piper Niven. Jesus. It was Chelsea and Piper Niven standing. Then Kyrie hit her elbow, which was cool. Then I believe Io hit the little moonsault. And then a lot of stuff just like happened. And it happened so quick, but it was so cool. And it really picked up that match for me to the point where I would say it was better than the Bloodline match. To be honest, only one match in the entire night, well, not night, but afternoon, was not as good as the Bloodline match. Only one. Everything else was better than it. So I gave the women's tag a 7 out of 10. I don't know who's gonna take the titles from Naomi. I mean, not Naomi, Jesus. From Bianca and Jade. I don't know where Naomi came from, but I don't know who's gonna take the titles from them. I don't think it'll be Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend. I don't think it'll be them. It'll be cool, but I don't think so. Also, don't think Damage Control's gonna do it, and definitely don't think Piper nor Chelsea's gonna do it, even though Chelsea's a gem, and I stand on that. But, you know, it is what it is, so 7 out of 10 for that. The next match after that was what again? Yeah. The next match was Seth versus Bronson. Loved that when Bronson came out, Seth ran up the ramp. And we're going to come back to this point a bit later, but it really helps sell the idea that, oh, these two people don't like each other. They just cannot stand each other. And if you get them in the same like area, there's going to be chaos. It really sells that. But I also like the way Bronson was booked for this part, right? Where no matter what Seth tried, Bronson kept going forward. He kept just doing what he got to do, which is important. So then the match starts, and I like the way Bronson was booked here because, spoiler alert, he lost the match. Bronson ended up losing the match. But it's always that question of how do they lose the match that's really important. There's ways to make someone look good despite losing, and they definitely pulled out all the stops here with Bronson. Because in the pre-match assault, he wasn't on the upper hand too much. In the match itself, Seth was getting dominated for a majority of the match and only had little flurries of, offense. And then even at the end, it took 3 curb stomps to put Bronson down, 3. One on some steel steps, a regular one in the ring, and then a super curb stomp from the top rope to end the match. And then what was even better is Bronson stood up like only a couple minutes after that. He was standing perfectly upright in the ring, talking about, come on. And Seth was like, you know where to find me if you're trying to get that smoke again, which Bronson's definitely going to want that smoke again. Let's just call it what it is. But that whole moment was made even better by the fact that Bronson had a gash right there on his eyebrow, which I don't think was planned. But having the blood trail down his face coincidentally sold the damage of the stomp, but it also made Bronson look even cooler because this man is bleeding, not heavily, but he's bleeding. He just got curb stomped from the top rope and on some steel steps, and he's just standing telling, Seth, like, come on, let's fight some more. So that's a little, that was like, oh, damn, he's not playing with Seth, bro. Seth better be careful. And I know Monday night on Raw, they're going to have a number one contenders match for the World Heavyweight Championship. I think it's Seth, Damian, Dom, and someone else. I can't remember. I can't remember from the graphic. But it's those three and then someone else. I can't remember who the fourth person is. But I'm pretty sure Bronson's going to take Seth out of that match in some way, shape, or form, either during or before the match. I don't see Seth winning that match regardless. So there's that. But yeah, so that gets a 7 out of 10 as well. If they are going to continue the feud, which I think they will, the next match needs to be a stipulation. I don't think the next match needs to be like a regular one-on-one match. I feel like after what happened tonight, and even what happened throughout the build-up, I feel like it has come to a point where it's like, we don't need a regular match anymore. So yeah, I think they should do a stipulation next time, but we'll see what happens. Next up was Liv Morgan versus Nia Jax, which I figured was going to be the lowest part of the show, and I was right. So here's the thing. I like Liv's heel persona, and Nia has definitely improved. But the thing for me about their matches is their matches never really inspire this sense of excitement from me. It's always like, okay, it's a Liv Morgan Nia Jax match. Obviously, Nia was the dominant supervillain heel, beating up the underdog heel, which is confusing to say. But, as always, when you get heel versus heel matches, it's kind of hard to book that one because then it's like, well, they're both supposed to be bad guys. But the Saudi Arabia crowd was definitely behind Liv. I will tell you that. They were definitely behind Liv the whole way through. There were even like, come on, Liv chants, I think, in the middle of the match. So, that's what it is. Tiffany Stratton, Nia and Liv were down. Tiffany Stratton comes running out, and Tiffany's like, okay, cool, time to cash in. Nia naturally is like, well, you're early, like, wait till the match is over. So she tells her, get lost, essentially. But Tiffany stays ringside. And then as Tiffany goes to cash in again, that's when Dom and Raquel come out. Now, granted, with Dom, that man just appeared. I did not see him come out. I saw Raquel. I did not see Dom. He just appeared at ringside. I'm like, where did you come from? Like, what dimension did you spawn in from, my guy? But regardless, once Raquel and Dom came out, I kind of figured, yeah, Liv is winning this match. So eventually, Nia ends up getting hit in the head by Raquel. Dom striking the referee, and then Liv hits the Oblivion, wins the match, and wins the Women's Crown Jewel Championship. Now, I know they're not taking the championships. They're actually going to get rings. But yeah, so ultimately, it was a middle-of-the-road match. It wasn't anything special, but it wasn't terrible. Like, I wasn't sitting there being like, can this match be over already? I was more kind of like, oh, okay, this is whatever. And also, Liv kind of had to win because you don't have her take out Rhea on NXT just to have her lose the next time we see her. So, again, it is what it is. But yeah, it's a 5 out of 10 match. It's just, it was the lowest part of the show. Now... My audio peaked, by the way, when I did that. Now, we get to Randy versus Kevin. This was brilliant use of what I talked about with Bronson and Seth. Selling the idea that two people hate each other to the point that them being in any close proximity is going to cause chaos. Because the match never started. It was just them two going at it. Kevin comes in, attacks Randy from behind during his entrance, messes up his leg, gets the upper hand at first, tries to put Randy through the announce table. Randy counters, and then they just go back and forth from there, and it was great. It was fantastic. Adam Pearce got RKO'd. A referee gets stunned by Kevin, and they end up doing, this spot where Randy's laying on like this table that's covered up with like different stuff. Kevin goes up on this railing and he does an elbow drop right to Randy, and that's how the brawl ends. That is how you sell the hatred between two wrestling characters. You don't have them just do a regular fight. You have them be like, oh, you have them just go out there and you have them have a crazy fight. That's what you do. To the point that when we get this match again, it has to be some kind of special stipulation. It can't be a regular match because obviously that's not going to work. Now, I will say, I do feel like this feud can very easily transition into a Randy Cody feud. And the way I figure it is that perhaps through this feud with Kevin, you can have Randy slowly but surely tap back into that psychotic version of himself. And then coming out of this feud, whoever wins it, doesn't matter. He can then be like, you know what, Cody, I want a title match. I handled Kevin for you, so I want a title match. And then, Cody can be like, well, I can't just give you that. I know I did it for Kevin, but I can't just give you a title match. And then you can have Randy crash out and do what he got to do. But ultimately, that was a really good segment. I didn't give it a rating because I don't give segments like that a rating. I can just say it was really good and it really switched the show around for me. Because before then, it was an alright show. It wasn't great. After this, though, it was just back-to-back good matches. Speaking of which, let's talk about the triple threat. I could do with Andrade versus Carmelo for the rest of my life, and I would not be upset about it. LA Knight kind of felt like the third wheel in the match, though. I won't lie. He kind of felt like he was there because he was champion, not because he actually had a reason to be there. But that happens sometimes, So, yeah, he was just kind of there. Andrade and Melo did the most cool shit in the match, like Melo countering the BFT by going on his hands and then hitting some move afterwards. That was cool. Andrade doing the point to Melo on the mat just for him to moonsault into Knight was a perfect switch, because I remember when he jumped, I was like, where the hell is he going? And then I forgot Knight was there. So I'm like, what's going on here? So that was really good. That was really good. The nothing but net from Melo to LA Knight was good. Yeah, LA Knight messed up on the little top rope thing, but it is what it is. It happens. Something similar happened to Io earlier. She was going for something on, I believe Jakara Jackson was the person in the ring, and she ended up slipping. It happens. I'm not too pressed about it. I know some people are going to be like, oh, they should be fired because they... Listen, you're not a human being if you've never messed up at your job. Everybody messes up. It happens. And you're being tossed into the air, or you're leaping into the air in some of these cases, so therefore that mistakes are going to happen here and there. Just be happy no one got injured, because I'm sick of these people who try to be like, oh, they're botching, they deserve to be fired. It's like, bro, come on now, because most of the people saying that couldn't even do a simple suplex. I know I couldn't, so I can never complain about that. But anyway, the ending was good. The double BFT was perfect. Melo sold the hell out of it. So overall, I gave that match a 9.5 out of 10. Like I said, mostly because of just, what's his name? For LA Knight slipping at the top. Because like I said, I don't mind it, but it is something that's kind of like, that sucks. I really would have been interested to see. I mean, we did see what happened there, but it would have been cooler if it was seamless. And also, LA Knight just felt like kind of a third wheel, so it just kind of felt like okay, whatever. Now, Cody versus Gunther as the main event. Going into this match, I was like, this is gonna be a good match simply because it's Gunther and Cody. Like, there's no way they can have a bad match. The only way they'd be able to have a bad match is if someone got injured, like heavily. That's the only way. So they start the match, and they're doing some grapples at first, which I always like stuff like that. It sort of gets you hyped up for when things pick up pace-wise. So that's why I love stuff like that. But they do a little grappling at first. And Cody at first, he gets the upper hand on Gunther, starts doing moves. But then, of course, Gunther starts getting the upper hand. And from there, Gunther just proceeded to beat down on Cody. Cody had some flurries here and there, but ultimately, Gunther just kept that pressure on. Up until Gunther had Cody in the corner and he started getting cocky. And this is something I love about Gunther. I love the fact that Gunther's cockiness keeps costing him in one way or another. Even if he doesn't lose the match, Even if he doesn't lose the match, what the hell? I like the fact that his cockiness gets him messed up because he gets so overconfident just to get smacked up. Cody doing his little Hulk up moments was really cool because it reminded me of Cena, who was my favorite wrestler growing up. So, it reminded me of that. But then also, the thing I love about the ending, because Cody did end up beating Gunther. I was not expecting that. I thought Kevin was going to cost Cody. Therefore, you continue that feud. But I love the fact that the way Gunther lost was because of something that he was trying to do the entire match. Because if you recall, before the match and during the match, Gunther made a big deal about trying to make Cody pass out via the sleeper, right? He kept going back to that. And the whole thing was he could easily hit like a power bomb or something and get the win that way. But he kept trying to go for that sleeper. So I love the fact that that is what ultimately cost him. He went for one more sleeper to reverse the super Cody Cutter, and he got rolled up for the win. I love that. Because again, it's like as the months go on, it's like they're adding more chinks in Gunther's armor. Because when he first came up, it was like he's this impenetrable heel. Like, he can't get under his skin, can't do anything. But as time has gone on, and as he got to the end of his IC Championship run, he got cocky, and that's cost him against Sammy. He got overconfident, cost him. Then he locked in to beat Randy. It wasn't really that clean, but he beat him. Then he got cocky with Damian, and he ended up being in a bigger fight than he expected. Now he gets into a fight with Cody. He gets overconfident, and what happens? He ends up losing. So ultimately, Cody wins the men's Crown Jewel Championship and gets a ring out of it. And this is when I realized how big the titles were, because if you saw the title on Cody, that thing was gigantic. But anyway, I gave that match a 9.5 out of 10. Here's the thing, there wasn't anything wrong with the match. I just didn't want to give it a 10 because it didn't elicit that reaction out of me. Like, it was good, but it wasn't good enough where I'm like, this is a 10. Because I want the 10s I give out to mean something. But overall, Crown Jewel was actually pretty fun as the PLE. I know this maybe came off as kind of a ramble, but this is one of my first times doing this kind of thing. So forgive me if I'm a bit iffy in the way I do it and how it comes off. But yeah, man, Crown Jewel was pretty fun. I can't say that I wasted the last 3.5 hours of my life. So overall, I'll give the show a 7 out of 10. The only things that really dragged it down to a 7 was the Bloodline match and the Liv Nia match. Those were the only things that really dragged it down. And even then, it wasn't like drastic drags down. It was more kind of like, yeah, these were points I didn't really care for. But it is what it is. All in all, if you like this video and my rambling opinions on Crown Jewel, please make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video all across the place. Wherever you can find a place to share it, please share it. I'm trying to be more active on this channel. But anyway, I'll talk to you next time. Bye.